Hello, everyone. This is Standard Baseball. Welcome back to another episode of Standard Baseball Show. Today, we're going to be previewing the Padres National Series that is coming up. This is, as of right now, the first of two episodes that are coming this week. I have another one planned, but that one will probably come out on Thursday. I think you'll all be pretty excited for that one. Um, anyway, so going into the Padres National Series, I know it looks a little weird. I've got the headset on. Don't worry about that. So, entering the Padres National Series, the Padres are won three of their last four, which means, they won the series against the Milwaukee Brewers. They dropped the finale yesterday. However, if there's something that bodes well for this team is that they finally figured out how to hit the home run at home. They hit a bunch of home runs this series at home, and they finally figured out, they seem to be getting into an offensive rhythm despite yesterday's showing. They were still hitting the ball hard. They just weren't getting results yesterday. Excuse me. So I think that the offense right now is in a really good spot. Now, there is the question of Fernando Tatis Jr. Will he go on the IL? Jeff Sanders of the Union Tribune reported that Bryce Johnson from the AAA team was up. He was in the clubhouse in case they needed to put Tatis on the IL. And as of this morning, there's a possibility. It's still a real possibility that Fernando Tatis Jr. will go on the injured list going into the series against the Nationals, which means he'll be out for at least a week. They could always retroactively, put him on the IL and say it's retroactive to 2 days ago, and then he only misses about a week. But it's that left arm contusion. Um, Another thing that's worth noting for the San Diego Padres, I didn't script this, but another thing that's worth noting for the San Diego Padres is what are they going to do with Jurickson Profar? He's still managing that left patella injury. So, he going to be playing left field? Is he going to be DHing? If he's DHing, what does that mean for some of the other guys on this roster? So if I'm the Padres, I mean, I think offensively they're in a pretty good spot with the guys who are going to actively be playing in this series. As for the bench, I'm not really sure. I mean, Luis Campusano is currently on the 10-day IL, so you're probably going to have Kyle Higashioka for two of the three games. So if I'm the Padres, I think they're in a good spot offensively. Pitching wise is the real question. Another report came out this morning that apparently Yu Darvish might not be ready to go for his start tomorrow because of another minor injury. So that had me thinking, as part of why I decided to record this, was who are they going to start tomorrow? Because you just sent down Adam Major a couple days ago. And because you optioned him, you can't call him back up for 15 days unless someone else is injured. But is anyone actually going to be, in a situation where you have to call up a pitcher? Because if you put Fernando Tatis on the IL, you likely have to call up an outfielder because of the pitcher limit on the roster. So at that point, who starts tomorrow? Because Johnny Brito has thrown into it in the last two games. So the Padres pitching is kind of a concern. They do have Matt Waldron starting one of the three games. They have Matt Waldron starting tonight, and you have Yu Darvish going on. Yu Darvish's scheduled start was on Tuesday, and on Wednesday you would have Dylan Cease. So if I'm the San Diego Padres, I feel good about Monday's game. I don't know how to feel about Tuesday, and Wednesday is a coin flip at this point because the Nationals are starting three left-handed pitchers. In Patrick Corbin, they're starting him tonight. They're starting DJ Hertz on Wednesday, and I believe they're starting Mitchell Parker tomorrow. Let me just check. Nope, Mackenzie Gore, former Padre, is starting on Tuesday night against the Padres. Now, the Padres did get to Gore in his last start against the Padres last season. They've been okay against Corbin when he's at Petco. Last I remember, Patrick Corbin pitching at Petco Park, he only allowed 2 runs, and that was in a season where he had over a 6 ERA. So I genuinely do not know what to expect out of the Padres offense tonight. And then on Wednesday, they're facing TJ Hertz, who has shown big strikeout stuff in his time in the major leagues. But he's still his fourth start of the year. So I don't know what to expect out of the offense for the Padres. Now, the Nationals, they're one of those teams where you have to win this series. I'm not saying the Nationals are a bad team. They're an average team, just going off record. They're one game under 500. And if you really want to be really, really nerdy about it like I am, and you want to look at the wild card standings as of right now, you look at the wild card standings. I'm looking down because they're on my phone. The Nationals are the team that's directly behind the Padres in the wild card. So ideally, you sweep the series, get a little bit of separation. Worst case, you want to at least win the series. You want to keep winning series if you're the Padres. So I know this is not as much of an informed preview as some of my previous ones have been, but I'm gonna get on to the keys of the series. What do I think the keys for the Padres are? First key of the series, you got to hit lefties. Doesn't matter how you do it, you got to get runs against the three left-handed pitchers because the Padres have not been great against lefties this season. They've been a lot better against right-handed pitchers. So I think maybe the fact that they just faced four righties in a row might help them get out of an offensive funk, and then they bring that against these three lefties that the Nationals are throwing against them this series. We saw how it went against the Marlins. It was interesting to say the least. Their offense's exploits against left-hand pitching, but it should ideally you win two of the three games and you're able to hit the lefties. Second of all, get quality starts from your starting pitchers. Aside from Matt Waldron and one start from Randy Vasquez, Padres starting pitching has not been great. They've not been great at going deep. Michael King went more than 5 innings yesterday, and that was the second start in a row where a starter goes at least five. But before that, Adam Major, 4 2/3. Not you Darvish, Dylan Cease, 4 2/3. Michael King against Philadelphia, 4 2/3. You need to get your starters going deep because your bullpen has been absolutely taxed. I know you just threw out Johnny Brito for 2 innings yesterday, but he's thrown like 50, 60 pitches over the last 2 days. So ideally, you want to set up your bullpen for success. And how do you do that? Well, you get quality from your starting pitchers. So starting pitchers got to go deep. And then the final key to the series is just you got to keep taking advantage of those runners in scoring position. The Padres are the best team in the majors against relievers this season. They're hitting around 259, according to yesterday's telecast. They're hitting around 259 against major league relievers, which is the best in the majors. You got to hit the Nationals bullpen. The Nationals bullpen has actually been kind of like sneaky good this year. Like Dylan Floro has been sneaky good. Derek Law has been sneaky good. And they've got that two-headed monster of Hunter Harvey and Kyle Finnegan at the back end. If you have a lead and you have to face some of the Nationals relievers, you gotta at least get to them. You can't just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The Padres have to get some hits against this Nationals bullpen that has been pretty good. I mean, they've gotten hits against some of the better bullpens in baseball. Just like the last couple of days, they got runs against the Brewer bullpen. They got runs in like 3 of the 4 games against the Brewers bullpen. They walked it off against Joel Payamps, who's probably the Brewers like closer as of right now because they don't have Devin Williams and they didn't have Trevor McGill, so he's like your setup guy. So if you're the Padres, you just gotta score against the bullpen as well. You've been doing really good this season against opposing relievers. Just keep that up. I know this episode seems a little more scattered than some of my last ones. I mean, I didn't plan this. It's just like, okay. Thank you all for still watching. If you want to follow more of the action, there will probably be game recaps on eastvillagetimes.com, of which I write for. The link for that is in the description down below if you want to check out them for more Padres content. With that being said, I'm going to go sign off, get this edited, put this out there. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope you all got something out of this video. And, let's go Padres. And I'll see you all in my next video. Standard Baseball, signing off.